response to speculations regarding the power of PAN, Naga Hoho, NSCN-IM in a press statement says it is still in incubation stage on one need not go for panic reaction on issue. The faction further states that the PNH stands for the whole aspirations and identity of Nagas and to safeguard historical and political rights of Nagas. After gruesome video of killing of great Indian Hornbill in Bandari Down under Woka went viral on social media and sparked major outrage, Naga police registered a suo motu case against the inhuman act. Bandari Police Station registered case under IPC sections 425, 34, Arms Act 25 Clause IB and Section 11 Clause IA, L of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Nagaland Pradesh Youth Congress on Thursday stages protest in front of Raj Bhavan against Modi government and Enforcement Directorate for allegedly harassing Congress leaders in Delhi. NPCC also accuses BJP government of trying to silence for highlighting failure and injustice of the NDA government. Kohima bench of Guwahati High Court takes up the petition of Nagaland Assembly Secretariat Staff Association on the PJ Antony's reappointment to the post of Principal Secretary in the Assembly Secretariat for hearing. Meanwhile, 7-member Parliamentary Committee of the State Government calls NASA to call off agitation. Over Nagaland government's failure to respond to its ultimatum regarding acquisition of land for relocation of Institute of Education and Training in Twensang, Young Students' Conference on Wednesday seals all state government offices in Twensang town. CWS reiterates to continue agitation till government fulfills their demands. Good evening, viewers. Welcome you all to English Primetime News. Let's have a look at the news in detail. In response to speculation by some individuals and groups regarding power of PAN Naga Hoho chairman, the NSCN-IM issued a press statement in which it mentions that the PNH is still in incubation stage and that one need not go for panic reaction. The faction stated that such a subject of critical importance need not be processed in a hurry. The faction stated that the PNH, as conceived by the government of Nagaland and the NSCN-IM, has been set up for the larger unity and welfare of Naga tribes living in different areas. The faction further reiterated that the PNH does not undermine any democratic political institution and any rumor about PNH undermining democratic political institutions is unfounded. The factions further stated that the PNH stands for the political aspirations and identity of Nagas and to safeguard historical and political rights of Nagas. After a gruesome video of the killing of great Indian Hornbill in Bandari town under Woka district went viral on social media, a suo motu case was registered at Bandari police station on June 15. The SDPO of Bandari, Sukumo Kikon, informed that the case was registered at Bandari police station by officer in charge, police station Bandari under case number 12/22. It can be mentioned that IPC sections 425, 34, Arms Act 25 Clause IB and Section 11 Clause IA, Clause L of the Prevention to Cruelty of Animals Act 1960 have been applied on the case, which is currently under investigation. The Nagaland Pradesh Youth Congress on Thursday held a protest rally outside Raj Bhavan, Kohima against the Modi government along with the Enforcement Directorate for harassing the Congress leaders in Delhi. The protest was carried out by Congress Party Secretary AICC in charge Nagaland, Ranajit Mukherjee, stated that the protest against the government of India is related to the political vendetta taking place in Delhi right now, where Congress leader Rahul Gandhi have been questioned in a case that doesn't even exist and in an ED case that isn't even been filed an FIR. Further, Mukherjee stated that using Section 144, they are not allowing Congress party workers to enter in their party office headquarters and harassed and beaten up when they are peacefully protesting, fighting and for the justice. He pointed that this is democratically and we have the right to protest. However, this fascist NDA government is taking away that right. Meanwhile, NPCC working president Kirede Tenyo, speaking at the rally, stated that BJP government is trying to silence people who has been associated in the freedom struggle and are highlighting the failure and injustice of the present NDA government. Furthermore, Tenyo added by saying that the people who stand for justice has been harassed by the present government under Modi leadership and the party will continue with the agitation till justice is delivered.
ED para enforcement directorate para मिसाफिसी केस लगाई के टैकर के परेशान करिया से इतो निमित्ते आज आमी खान जाते सब जमा हो गए ना in solidarity to our leader we are protesting here and we want to show our solidarity to our leaders that we are with you and today we all are coming from Dimapur, some from Koiba, some from other districts, and we all gathered here today. So, Aji Amikan, yate protest
in extremely bad weather, in front of the Raj Bhavan at Kohima, to protest against the government of India's blatant political vendetta that is taking place in Delhi right now, where the leader of the Congress party, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, has been questioned 3 days straight in a case that does not even exist, in an ED case that does not even have an FIR that has been filed regarding it. There is a simple matter of an old newspaper, a newspaper that fought alongside our freedom fighters during the freedom movement, the National Herald, a newspaper that was started by Jawaharlal Nehru. That newspaper was banned by the British between 1942 to 1945 to understand what the legacy of this newspaper is. Since independence, the newspaper...
Nagaland Assembly Secretariat Staff Association's agitation on the reappointment of retired government officer to the post of Principal Secretary in the Nagaland Assembly Secretariat was taken up for hearing by the Kohima bench of the Guwahati High Court on Wednesday. The Vice President of NASA stated that court has fixed the next hearing for June 21. Also, a 7-member parliamentary committee of the state government headed by MLA Chotis Saso as convener called on the NASA officials in the Assembly Secretariat and requested them to call off the agitation, which has been disrupting the functioning of the NLA Secretariat for 10 days. The team assured them that an amicable solution would be found within a few days. Union government has approved additional central assistance of rupees 1,043.23 crore to Rajasthan and Nagaland as the two states were affected by drought from 2021 to 2022. While Nagaland will get 39.28 crore as aid, rupees 1,003.95 crore has been finalized for Rajasthan. The approval was given by a high-level committee under the chairmanship of Union Home Minister Amit Shah under the National Disaster Response Fund. Notably, the central government has released rupees 17,747.20 crore to 28 states in their state disaster response force and rupees 7,342.30 crore to 11 states from the NDRF. The Chang Wedoshi Set Shang or Chang Students' Conference on Wednesday sealed all state government offices in Twensang town. CWS earlier on June 14 had also sealed the office of the District Institute of Education and Training, Twensang. Notably, CWS took the action owing to Nagaland government's failure to respond to its ultimatum served on May 12 regarding the acquisition of land for relocation of institute in Twensang. CWS reiterated that they will stand firm on the demands stated in its ultimatum and further added that they will continue their agitation till the government fulfills their demands. Due to the unrelenting heavy downpour, a portion of National Highway 06 in Lamsong, Meghalaya washed away, which connects the country to Barak Valley in South Assam as well as Mizoram and Tripura. Some parts of the roads on National Highway 06 under Lamsong police station has been damaged badly and heavy motor vehicle trucks, buses would be unable to pass and hence commuters in HMVs, trucks, buses are advised not to take this route. East Jainta Hills Police informed concerned departments for quick, necessary action to restore normalcy. Furthermore, stranded passengers and drivers are being provided with necessary assistance. Woka District Entrepreneurs Association on Wednesday, 15th June, commemorated 8th Foundation Day at Woka District. Speaking on the occasion, Resource Person, Economic Investigator, Inspector of Industry, DIC, Woka, M. Mabemo Kintan, and Skill Development Officer, Woka, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Rajnath Singh, highlighted various central flagship sponsorships programs through various departments. Kitan specifically highlighted on Prime Minister Employment Generation Program and Prime Minister Formalization of Micro-Enterprise, where he briefed on the eligibility and processing in availing loans. Meanwhile, he encourages the young entrepreneurs to avail the facilities and make use of the schemes positively. Singh sought for women entrepreneurs in the district by encouraging the women folks to dwell in the business sector. He spoke on various schemes like Vikash Speda platform to bridge the gap between entrepreneur and government schemes. The program was attended by around 30 individuals from various business sectors, including service providers. While speaking at the District Disability Rehabilitation Center District Hospital in Dimapur, National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Intellectual Disability officers in charge, Dr. Ravi Prakash Singh maintained that most children in Nagaland with intellectual disability do not have a valid certificate to avail government benefits. During the program, 57 beneficiaries were given TLM kits worth INR 10,000 each. Singh also stated that identifying children with intellectual disability thus becomes a major challenge in the state, coupled with the lack of awareness on the benefits available for children with disability. In commemoration of 8 years completion of Prime Minister Modi's government, the BJP Nagaland State organized a tribal Mela closing ceremony of the Seva Suchasan or Garib Kalyan Parv on Wednesday at Arsempa Jotsoma. The 15 days event, which was kicked off at Dimapur on 1st June 2022 with a bike rally, concluded with a tribal Mela. Notably, national fire making and games, war dance, traditional dance and traditional cultural show were the highlights of the event. State BJP President and Minister for Higher Education, Temchen Imna Alum, in his presidential speech stated that Nagaland has been known to run from one party to another in search of power and political gimmicks but is thankful that BJP leader Modi don't show and follow that path. Along stated that with the completion of 8 years of Modi's government, a new era of India and Nagaland has evolved.
Ever in the history of Bharat, of India, since 1947, we, as the workers of Bharatiya Janata Party Nagaland, as members of the world's largest party, not only by size, but by heart and the virtue which calls the organizational workers to envelop oneself.
The Manipur police on Tuesday busted a drug manufacturing unit in Thoubal district and seized 222.85 kilos suspected brown sugar. Police, while addressing the media, stated that the drug manufacturing unit was busted during a raid at Muching Mina Bazar, whereby a woman was arrested during the raid. The arrested persons has been identified as one Tobol Mal Mayu Bibi, wife of T.H. Kadimur of Mojing Bazar, Thoubal district. During the raid, the police also seized several items including chemicals used in manufacturing the drugs. In relation to this, a case has been registered against the woman under NTPS Act. It is to be mentioned that the police have also handed over the woman to Thoubal police station along with the seized items for legal action. After appearing before the Enforcement Directorate for 3 consecutive days of questioning in the National Herald money laundering case, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Thursday appealed to the Enforcement Directorate to postpone June 17, that is Friday, questioning due to the treatment of his mother and party president Sonia Gandhi. The ED summoned Rahul Gandhi for questioning for the 4th time on Friday. The Congress MP had sought exemption for Thursday, which was allowed. In a letter written to the probe agency, Gandhi said that he could not join the process of interrogation and sought an extension for a few days to look after his mother. According to reports, ED, however, has not received any mail from Gandhi yet. Sonia Gandhi, 75, had tested positive for COVID-19 on June 2 and was recuperating. The Congress president is admitted to Sri Ganga Ram Hospital in Delhi. She was to appear before the ED on June 8 and had sought more time for the probe agency, which has now issued a fresh summons to her to appear on June 23. With protests erupting in many parts of India following Prime Minister Modi's announcement of Agnipath scheme, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejwal has urged the centre to not limit e-service tenure of Agnivars to 4 years. Kejwal, in a series of tweets, expressed support to the protesting aspirants who wish to join the Indian military service. It is noteworthy that the Agnipath scheme aims at recruiting Agnivars on a 4-year period without any gratuity or pension after the tenure expires. Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav also condemned the scheme. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, BJP MP Varun Gandhi, Rashtriya Janata Dal leader Tejaswi Yadav are among the political figures that condemned the scheme. The Agnipath scheme also draws severe criticisms from several army veterans who stated that limiting the Agnivars to 4 years of service would lead to risk aversion among the youth. Through the scheme, the central government aims of cutting cost of salary and pension bills to free up funds for army procurement. The Supreme Court on Thursday demanded a Uttar Pradesh government's statement to a petition filed by Jamiat Ulayam-i-Hind contesting the state's recent demolition drive, citing individuals who allegedly participated in protest against BJP spokeswoman Nupur Sharma after she had made remarks against Prophet Muhammad. Meanwhile, a bench of Justices Bopana and Vikram Nath did not issue an interim order, while Justice Bopana remarked at the very outset of the hearing, demolition can't take place without notices. Furthermore, the court still urged the authorities to keep the situation in the state under control until the petition is heard by the Supreme Court on June 21st. As the bill to appoint West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee as Chancellor of West Bengal University of Zoology and Fisheries was passed in the Assembly on Wednesday, leader of opposition Suvendu Adhikari alleged that Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has procured a fake degree from Georgia University. The BJP MLAs went against the bill, saying that it would be very difficult for Chief Minister Banerjee to hold various portfolios and do justice to them. The opposition MLAs exited amid assembly session and did not participate in the voting. If the move to make Banerjee as Chancellor is approved by Governor Jagdeep Dhankar, the latter's portfolio will be taken over by Banerjee, thereby making her Chancellor of 32 universities in the state. Trinamool MLAs responded to the opposition MLA, citing that Governor has political views and he does not engage much in the affairs. Thus, appointing someone like Chief Minister Banerjee who can make quick decisions is the need of the hour. India's low-cost airline SpiceJet on Thursday called for 10 to 15% hikes in airfares amid rising prices of jet fuel and depreciation of the Indian rupee. Notably, SpiceJet chairman and managing director Ajay Singh remarked that there is no option left other than to hike airfare in order to sustain the operation. Singh mentioned that aviation turbine fuel prices have increased by more than 120% since June 2021. Singh added that aviation fuel price hikes are a burden on the airline companies and therefore urged the government to reduce taxes on ATF. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Thursday arrived in Srinagar on a two-day visit to the Union Territory. The Defence Minister will be visiting forwarding areas and interacting with troops during his visit. Meanwhile, Singh is set to attend the 200th anniversary of Maharaja Gulab Singh's Jaya Bikshi ceremony in Jammu on 17th June. Earlier on Monday, Singh called for greater jointness of civil administration and armed forces to further strengthen national security and deal with future challenges that may emanate from the ever-evolving global situation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a good interaction with foreign ministers and representatives of Asian countries on Thursday as the country celebrated 30 years of Indian-Asian cooperation. India hosted the Special Asian-Indian Foreign Ministers meeting to mark the 30th anniversary of the dialogue relations and the 10th anniversary of the strategic partnership with ASEAN. Meanwhile, the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar stated that India fully supports a strong, unified and prosperous ASEAN, the one whose centrality of the Indo-Pacific is fully recognized. Furthermore, during the meeting in New Delhi, Jaishankar stated that ASEAN has stood tall as a beacon of regionalism, multilateralism and globalization. The Islamic State has latched on to the controversy surrounding the derogatory remarks by now suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma against Prophet Muhammad. The Islamic State has now jumped into the Prophet controversy in India, threatening to carry out attacks in the country. Meanwhile, the derogatory remarks by Sharma and another BJP member Naveen Jindal snowballed into a global controversy after West Asian nations raised the matter with Indian missions. Furthermore, the issue also triggered a widespread protest in India, demanding arrest of Nupur Sharma. Islamic State, Khorasan province, an affiliate of the terror outfit Islamic State or Daesh, released an over 10-minute video focusing on India and alleged blasphemy issues involving Nupur Sharma. The Islamic State goes on to criticize the Taliban, particularly Defense Minister Mullah Yaqub for his interview with Indian news television channel and Finance Minister Amir Muttaqi over his meeting with the Indian charge d'affaires in Afghanistan for trying to establish diplomatic relations with India. Indian naval ships Sahyadri and Kamothra are on a 3-day visit to the Indonesian capital, Jakarta, to enhance maritime ties between the two navies. The visit started on Wednesday under the command of Rear Admiral Sanjay Bhalal, Flag of Commanding Tweed Eastern Fleet. Meanwhile, the Indian Navy stated that the visit aims to boost India's strong bonds of friendship with Indonesia, further contributing to security and stability in the region. Furthermore, several social and informal challenges aimed at strengthening bilateral ties and mutual understanding between the two nations. Thanks for tuning to the news. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates.
New YY Dynamite Instant Noodles. It's extra spicy. Taste that will blow your mind.
Hey, you haven't started yet?
It's very low quality water tank.
Just shut up. The shopkeeper has given us 5